Hi, I chose to do my presentation on caffeine and the effects it has on your body. It does have some risks and some benefits. And where I consume caffeine on a daily basis, I was interested in seeing what I was really consuming and what it really does to my body. What is caffeine? Caffeine is a plant alkaloid. In its pure form, it is a bitter white powder, and it naturally occurs in more than 60 different types of plants. Some of the most common things that caffeine occurs in are coffee beans, tea leaves, cola nuts, and cocoa powder. Cocoa powder is what they use to manufacture chocolate with. Cola nuts is used to flavor soft drinks. Tea leaves are used to make tea, and coffee beans for coffee. A little bit of background information on caffeine is that it is the most popular and widely used drug in the world today, even though many of us do not consider it to be a drug. Caffeine is completely absorbed in the body, and 99% of the absorption occurs within 15 minutes of ingesting the caffeine, even though the effects of it last anywhere between 1 to 4 hours depending on your tolerance you've built up to it. Some statistics with caffeine are that 80% of adults consume one form or another of caffeine every day. It is found in more than 2,000 non-prescription drugs, and the average daily intake for an adult is roughly 200 milligrams. Caffeine has a variety of uses. It is an indirect stimulant to the central nervous system. It can be used to curb your appetite. It can also be used as an inexpensive laxative. And research shows that caffeine may also act by altering pain receptors. There are some medical uses for it. It is used in prescriptions and in over-the-counter medications to treat tiredness and drowsiness. It can also be used for migraines because it causes the cerebral blood vessels to constrict, so it alleviates the pain that is associated with migraine. So there are recreational uses, as there are with any drug. Caffeine does boost your energy, your performance, and your endurance levels. Athletes like to use caffeine for these reasons, and some of the most common athletes that use it are bicyclists, runners, and swimmers. I use caffeine on a daily basis as a recreational use because I had that first cup of coffee in the morning to get up and go, and then I maintain my level of caffeine intake throughout the day so I don't become too tired. Caffeine and the effects on the body. It raises your overall arousal level of the brain. It delays the onset of sleep. It heightens alertness, and it is a fat releaser. With any drug, it does have side effects. It can increase your heart rate, raise your blood pressure. It can cause you to have uneven heartbeats. It can give you the jitters. It can cause headaches. You can become nervous if you have too much. You can get dizzy. You can become dehydrated. And with that, if you consume large amounts of caffeine, you need to replace your fluids with water so that way you don't become dehydrated. You can become dependent on it, and it can cause you to be restless. And most of these side effects aren't like extreme side effects, but say you already have complications of the heart, then the heart rate, the blood pressure, and the uneven heartbeats can become a little bit more serious. As with any drug out there, there are withdrawal symptoms when you go from using it on a daily basis to cutting back or quitting altogether. And the withdrawal symptoms for this include it can cause headaches, fatigue, and irritability. Although it is highly unlikely, it is possible to overdose on caffeine. An overdose for caffeine is not caused by an overstimulation of the brain, even though it is a central nervous system stimulant. It is actually caused by cardiac arrest, which is due to an uncontrolled firing of the nerves that regulate the heartbeat. An ingestion of 10 grams has caused convulsions and vomiting. And a fatal oral dose is anywhere between 10 and 14 grams, and that is dependent on your body weight. It is roughly 150 to 200 milligrams per pound that you weigh, would cause possible overdose. I've included some examples of just regular everyday items that a lot of people consume and the amount of caffeine that's in them. And I was shocked to see the difference from how much caffeine's in a regular cup of coffee at the 60 to 150 milligrams compared to decaf coffee only has 2 to 5 milligrams. I was not aware that there was that much difference in it. And after doing all the research I've done, I came to the conclusion that caffeine does have many benefits, but with anything that you consume daily, you need to regulate and monitor your intake because there are some serious side effects that can occur. I will probably consider cutting back on my caffeine levels because I've noticed lately I consume caffeine too late in the day and then I just can't sleep at night and I'm up all night. So I will probably consider cutting back on it and not having it so late in my evening. And that is the end of my presentation. Thanks.